Good morning. This is Mark Sobowitz live on a Clarion Voice. And today we are pleased to have with us Bob Shore, who works with the group Hope and Faith in Paso Robles and works as a minister to the homeless and his affiliation with Highland Church in Paso Robles. Bob, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
It's great to be here, Mark.
Thank you. Um, Tell me a little bit about briefly about your background here. How long have you been here in Paso Robles? And
My family has lived here in the area since 2005. We've worked in the area since 1998. Uh, uh, Growing up in Bakersfield, California, every opportunity to have weekend vacations or week vacations, we vacation somewhere between Morro Bay to San Simeon many times as I grew up.
okay, and we were talking earlier. You're a former petroleum engineer and also working in the solar industry. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been in the energy industry, all aspects, for over 50 years.
Okay, and your work with the homeless came through your affiliation with Highland Church. Is that correct? Tell us a story about that.
Well, I saw a young man that had multiple sclerosis, and he shuffled as he walked, and he came to church every morning when we were in the COVID time frame, and he'd clean up and sit outside and enjoy the church message, and became friends with him and found out that he had a new granddaughter born that year over in Fresno, and we, my grandson and I, would go out to lunch with him after church and give him a ride back to where he was in the riverbed, and uh, we got him back for Christmas to meet with his family over in the Fresno area and spend some time with his new grandbaby and his family here, and that became the introduction to helping people in the homeless situation on the streets of Paso Robles.
What motivates you to do that?
You know, there's a lot of currencies in life you can have for your efforts, and the things that really, strengthen your heart and your mind is to see something you can give back to somebody and pass an opportunity on to somebody. Because I've been blessed in my life. I've had many, many opportunities, and to be able to offer that hand back to someone else is a real blessing.
In your ministry with the homeless, we were talking earlier about the mental health issues that are connected with the people that are there in the riverbed. Do you think that that's the main problem that exists?
I don't think it's the main problem. I think it's, the mental health issues are behavioral issues that have become uncontrolled. I think those same behavioral issues are also out there with the people that have homes, and it's just that the people in the riverbed get pushed off the train. Whether it's a family crisis or a job crisis or health issues or just uh, a drug addiction or alcohol addiction, all those things can make it so that people can't live a normal life in a house.
Mhm.
And there are people that aren't any different than my neighbor that has a house, or uh, but then it can get extrapolated to a point that they have major stress and it becomes a real mental illness issue that they need some real support on, and that's one of the things we're trying to bring to the homeless is some mental health support that's essential in most cases.
So you think that by increasing the amount of support that people get, that it might help the situation? Do you think?
Just our experience in the last year and a half that I've been involved, 2 years, is that we bring the love and trust of the Lord to these people. We go to them. It's not like they have to come and fill out forms and wait in line and go through the
Right.
bureaucracy of getting a room or getting food or things like that. And we bring food to them. We bring socks, shoes, pants, things like that, and help them try to reestablish a pathway that's lit and they can have trust in.
Okay. How do you resolve? Okay, the problem of homelessness is not easy to resolve totally. I understand that, but is there some way that some agency or something like that could step up and increase their help?
Yes, there is. I mean, there's a lot of effort going on right now, and specifically, besides our ministry that goes outreach to the homeless and people on the street in the Paso Robles, there's an effort down in San Luis Obispo to build a tiny village that actually makes a transitional housing for people.
Okay.
There's an existing parking facility that has showers available also down on Kansas in San Luis Obispo. And every city has a problem. You know, we think of our small towns here in San Luis Obispo. What about the issue in Los Angeles or San Francisco or Detroit? Or,
Sure.
I mean, it's huge. And like I mentioned to you earlier, it's just the issue of people that have essentially fell off the train
Hmm.
that have recognizable issues that need help. But there's a whole bunch of people that have homes that are right there at the close to that edge, and they need support for behavioral issues that before they get out of hand, that they just walk away from everything and develop drug addictions or alcohol addictions that become a major problem.
Do you need more professional help in that regard as far as the mental health support?
Yeah, the Hope and Faith Ministries is run by a lady, Aurora William, that's been fabulous support for the homeless in the area. And she works, she has many hats that she wears, but she also gets grants. And she's, in the last year or so, she got a significant grant that established a recovery group that has counselors, that has psychologists, has people that can go and administer support in the field as necessary. And so we're bringing some mental health support that's been very, very much ignored in many years for all of people, not only the homeless, but also the people that are in a home and struggling and need some financial or some mental behavioral support. That's a key issue with the homeless, because they've got to, we have to bring them love and trust of the Lord that gives them faith and hope that there is a pathway for them that is lit, it's clear to them, and they can trust.
This might seem like an odd question, but when you're dealing with people in the riverbed as you minister to them and they don't respond, I mean, you have your expectations. You're hoping that what you say will generate a response. But when they don't respond, how do you feel about that?
We feel the challenge. We feel that there's a person needs love. A person needs to develop trust in themselves, let alone other people. And that's our mission, is to go out and bring the love and hope and faith of the Lord to people, so they can trust taking that step back into a lifestyle that's a little more hopeful for them. I mean, the lifestyle in the riverbed is not a hopeful path. It's a
Right.
very dangerous path.
The gentleman that you mentioned earlier that you first met at the church,
Mhm.
how was he doing?
He's doing good. We've relocated him over to his family in Fresno. He has two beautiful twin daughters, and he in a transition of living in temporary housing behind one of those daughters' houses and trying to get his own independent housing. And I think he's got his support for muscular dystrophy or muscular sclerosis back reestablished. And, life's not easy when you spent 4 or 5 years in a riverbed and you have to come back and live a normal life with all the different obstacles of bureaucracy that occurs everywhere.
I usually ask this question of people that I interview, so I will not make an exception here. But where do you see yourself in a year from now?
Well, I'm 75 years old. I really feel healthy. I feel there's a lot of contributions I can still make, whether it's the homeless or my family or the energy industry. So I'm still like what I'm doing. I'm able to kind of direct my time more so because I'm in more of a consulting business than anything else. And so I feel that part of my job in life is to provide opportunities to others. I've had so many opportunities my life has been blessed with, a lot of obstacles I've learned to overcome. And if I can pass that experience of overcoming obstacles to others, it gives me hope and faith.
Okay. If you were to say something to somebody about this issue, this problem, look into the camera and talk to somebody about that. What do you want to encourage people to know about this?
Well, I think understanding the homeless situation is understanding the complications of ignoring behavioral issues of all of us. And it starts in a young person's life of ignoring behavioral problems that not getting the support you need. I think we need to improve the education of how to mentally grow as a person and get confidence with people that they understand psychology. They understand the issues of putting things off or projecting your problems on other people. Those are all psychological things that are the basics of behavioral science, and they need to be addressed. If you're playing a football game and you lose, the best thing is to do is go back and practice to be better and improve on yourself.
Okay.
And I think activities like that are important for youth to have, to overcome obstacles, to know that they have the confidence to do that. And I think psychology needs to be brought into parenting and training of parents and education for young people and young parents and things. We say we need a mental health program that's been ignored throughout the United States for many years. We really need a better understanding of how to develop the muscles between our ears. We're really good athletes on jumping and running and things like that. Well, we need to become a mental athlete to overcome behavioral issues that if we put them off, they become an obstacle.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly from interviewing Aurora, Hope and Faith meets at Pacific Premier Bank, I think, on Saturday mornings, or
we have two locations we meet at. One is the Central Coast, or I can't remember the name of the bank. I'm sorry for them, but it's right there across the street from the Wells Fargo Bank, right next to the Twisted Glazed donut shop in the parking lot behind that church.
So this would be 6th Street.
Yeah, and
6th and Springer.
On Saturdays we meet there, and there's anywhere from 5 people to 12 people that show up, and we split up in groups, and one group goes to the south area, one group goes to the north area, and one group covers the central area.
Okay.
And we provide coffee, donuts, burritos, socks, new pair of pants, things like that.
Okay.
And we take it to the people. We go to them and we we ask them, what kind of prayers can we do for you? How can we help you to make a transition into a better life?
Okay. Bob, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us today, and I hope that you'll take advantage of joining Hope and Faith when you get the opportunity on Saturday mornings. And also, I hope that you'll think about what Bob is saying about the psychology of all of this homelessness and all the different issues that we've been dealing with. So this is Mark Sobowitz with the Clarion Voice.